Welcome, everyone. Hello again. Welcome to episode 4 of Conversations with Nilu. In episode 3, I talked about my traveling experiences, and the reason I wanted to share with you all some of the experiences is to hopefully inspire someone who has not traveled yet or is afraid of it or nervous, especially solo travel, to encourage you to do the same. Because there is so much value in challenging yourself and doing things even when you're scared or nervous, as I was. So I really hope that you enjoyed episode 3. Episode 4, in this discussion, I would like to do a deep dive on Tribe of Mentors, as I promised. And I will just be doing a bit of deep assessment on the book Tribe of Mentors, some of the notes that I have, and run through with you all the questions that were asked within the book. So the idea of the book, it's in the name, Tribe of Mentors. Tim Ferriss, who's the author, he interviews some of the world's highest performers and asks them very meticulously thought out questions and some of the answers that these folks provided him. So I will run through the 11 questions that he asked these high performers, and as I'm reading through the questions, you will notice that there's a very specific reason why they were formulated the way they are. And hopefully you will find some of these questions intriguing on top of other takeaways that I got from this book. So here are the 11 questions. Question number 1. What is the book or books you've given most as a gift and why? Or what are one of the 3 books that have greatly influenced your life? Question number 2. What purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life in the last 6 months or in recent memory? Readers love specific like brand and model, where you found it, etc. How has a failure or parent failure set you up for later success? Do you have a favorite failure of yours? I really like this question because nobody really talks about failures and how valuable they are. So, good one. Question number 4. If you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, metaphorically speaking, getting a message out to millions or billions, what would it say and why? It could be a few words or a paragraph. If helpful, it can be someone else's quote. Are there any quotes you think of often or live your life by? Question number 5. What is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you've ever made? Could be an investment of money, time, energy, etc. Question number 6. What is an unusual habit or an absurd thing you love? Question number 7. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life? Question number 8. What advice would you give to a smart, driven college student about to enter the real world? What advice should they ignore? Question number 9. What are bad recommendations you hear in your profession or area of expertise? Question number 10. In the last 5 years, what have you become better at saying no to? Distractions, invitations, etc. What new realizations and or approaches helped? Any other tips? That's a good one. That's a good question. I struggle with this every day. So, great one. Question number 11. When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused or have lost your focus temporarily, what do you do? If helpful, what questions do you ask yourself? I really love question number 11 as well, because this is also something I struggle with, just being overwhelmed or unfocused. Now, those were the 11 top questions that he asked each of these high performers. Now, let me summarize some of the major takeaways from the book that I'm going to read out to you, and some of the conclusions and quotes that were stated in the book. So here are some of the largest takeaways. In no order particular, they're just kind of randomly spread. So number 1, sugar and carbs in general from grains, etc. are bad. Cut out sugar, eat more raw, basic foods. So this is his advice on nutrition. 2, prioritize sleep and fitness. Naps are a great idea. 3, be persistent. 4, following your passion is fine. Just make sure you're learning, growing, and learning how to learn, and you'll be okay. 4, focus on the micro and the macro. Focus on the micro, and the macro will take care of itself. In other words, make the next 5 minutes great, then the day great, and eventually you'll have a great life. 5, to change your mind, change your body. Get outside, take a walk, get in the water, do some exercise, find some heat or cold. 5, know yourself and build your strengths. The Enneagram test is a good tool for identifying your personality traits. 6, make tough decisions by putting yourself in the shoes of your older self and going through the exercise of looking back on your decision. Oh, I love that. 6, read and write every day. That's something I gotta do, especially write. 6, eliminate distractions as much as possible. This particularly includes social media and your phone, though in general, you should aim to say no to opportunities that don't align with your goals. A good test for this is, if this were taking place on Tuesday, would I want to go? And reducing the commitments you have to things far in the future, as you won't be able to predict whether you will want to go until closer. So here are some of the conclusions, some of my favorite parts of the book. So this is a quote. Based on everything I've seen, a simple recipe can work. Focus on what's in front of you. Design great days to create a great life, and try not to make the same mistake twice. That's it. Stop hitting net balls and try something else, perhaps even the opposite. If you really want extra credit, try not to be a dick. You'll be a Voltron level superstar. And here's point number 2. The secret to winning any game lies in not trying too hard. 3, feeling as though you are trying too hard indicates that your priorities, technique, focus, or mindfulness is off. Take it as a cue to reset and to double down. And take comfort in the fact that whenever in doubt, the answer is probably hidden in plain sight. And point number 4. What would this look like if it were easy? And point number 5. In a world where nobody really knows anything, you have the incredible freedom to continually reinvent yourself and forge new paths, no matter how strange. Embrace your weird self. 5. There is no right answer, only better questions. Love that. So here are some of the favorite parts in the book, and now I am going to go through some of my favorite quotes. Quote number 1. My obsession with sleep has improved my life immeasurably. So I know some of us, and when I was younger, I used to be like this. I really did not place much importance of sleep. There's this funny quote that my friends and I used to say, sleep is for the weak. And that has completely changed my perception of sleep. I do realize that sleep is important. I try to get at least 6 hours of sleep a day. Another quote. The genuine love for reading itself, when cultivated, is a superpower. So this was a quote from Naval Ravikant, who's also one of my idols. Quote number 3. In the vast majority of the professions and vocations, the people who succeed are not any cleverer than you. And this is a quote by Matt Ridley. I really like this one because there are so many people that doubt themselves, and including me. I think sometimes it really helps to believe in yourself and to just pursue your passions, take risks, of course, with a calculated plan. But that was a good quote by Matt Ridley. And here's another one. There's no conundrum that a 20-minute nap can't help me unpack. So this was by Bozoma St. John. Actually, I don't know who that is, but I do agree. I appreciate naps and I appreciate meditation. It does help me ground myself and clear my head. Okay. Here's another one. Ego is about who's right. Truth is about what's right. And that's a quote by Mike Maples Jr. Make sure you have something every day you're looking forward to. That's a good one. And that's a quote by Soman Chainani. So some of these people that I'm quoting from, some of them I'm not familiar with. If you're curious to know who these folks are, do feel free to Google. And you can also read the book to specifically find out more information on some of these amazing mentors. So here's another quote. The difference between winning and losing is most often not quitting. So this is a famous line from Walt Disney on willpower cannot be more true when it comes to entrepreneurship. Wow. I agree. No, that is absolutely true. And here's another quote. Ignore anyone who tells you to go for security over experience. Wow, that's powerful. So that's a quote by Patton Oswalt. And here's one by Lewis Cantley. The best skill is to be able to communicate efficiently, both in writing and speaking. Very true. And here's one by someone named Jerzy Gregorek. Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. Wow. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I need to keep repeating to myself every day to remind myself. Some of the best things in life are not easy after all. Here's another quote by Amelia Boone. If you are struggling to figure out where you are headed in life or what you're passionate about, pay attention to activities, ideas, and areas where you love the process, not just the results or the outcome. Wow. That hits home as well. And here is one by Andrew Ross Sorkin. Persistence matters more than talent. Absolutely. Hard work. Nothing can beat hard work. Here's a quote by Esther Perel. Above all is the quality of your relationships that will determine the quality of your life. Good one. Oh, here's one by Gary Vaynerchuk. He says, macro patience, micro speed. All right. And here's one by Tim O'Reilly. The secret to building a better future is to use technology to do things that were previously impossible. And here's one by someone named Bear Grylls. Tenacity matters more than talent, and in life, that is certainly true. And here's one by Brené Brown. Some of you may be familiar with Brené Brown. Diet, exercise, and work ethic don't hold a candle to how sleep can revolutionize the way you live, love, parent, and lead. Well, here's another important pointer on sleep. Oh, I did not expect this, but here's a quote by Ashton Kutcher. Be polite, on time, and work really fucking hard until you're talented enough to be blunt, a little late, and take vacations, and even then, be polite. Here's one by Eric Rippert. The more you divide your focus, the more each endeavor can suffer from your lack of attention. I think this just goes in everyone's work life where we are constantly multitasking. But it really is hard to get away from that. I can't wait until we can do the whole brain-computer interface and we'll actually be able to do multiple things in a more efficient way. Here's a quote by Darren Aronofsky. Most of the game is about persistence. It is the most important trait. Of course. Here's another diet-related one. Avoid sugar. especially soda and juice. All other diet advice is noise.